So I think right now there are three major vulnerabilities of the American military, and I'll just go one by one. But the first is political will, the lack of political will, meaning that the American population is not supportive of this war. Close to 80% of Americans oppose a first strike against Iran, and only about 40% of Americans today still support the military operation against Iran. So that's the first issue. Second issue is the lack of manufacturing capacity. So to fight a modern war, you need to produce a lot of munitions, a lot of missiles, a lot of tanks. And unfortunately, what America chose to do was offshore its manufacturing capacity, its factories to China. And so that's a major constraint on America's capacity to sustain this war as it drags on. So that's number two. Number three is that America is not willing to sustain casualties, and because it looks bad on TV, and already people are not supportive of this war. So if Americans start arriving back home in body bags, then you can imagine major protests across the nation. So these are the three major constraints. Okay, so the first is the idea of political will, and the reason why political will is important is that in order to win a modern warfare, you have to move towards something called total war. Okay? And what total war is, you structure your entire society to winning the war. Your industry, your culture, your political system all have to be focused on doing whatever it takes to winning the war. So last time America fought a total war was, of course, World War II, and possibly the Korean War, but World War II is a classic example when the entire American industrial base shifted from making cars to making tanks. And that's what you have to do in order to win, because wars take a long time, they take a lot of resources, your entire population has to be behind it. And unfortunately, Americans grew up watching the Persian Gulf War in 1991, and then the 2003 Iraq War. And these were quick, simple wars that demonstrated America's technological supremacy. It was like a video game. And so the American population is sort of spoiled. It's become indifferent to war and believe that, okay, it's going to cost us a lot of money, and it's not moral, and it's terrible that these civilians overseas are going to die, but it's not really our problem. In other words, I doubt whether or not the American population is willing to make the sacrifices necessary in order to win this war. The idea of the aura of invincibility is how America projects power, right? So America doesn't want to fight a war. America just wants to scare people. And